Good evening, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Welcome to Bizworld. Business sentiment in the country registered a confidence indicator of 7.6% in the first quarter of 2022, from negative 0.3% in the last quarter. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, among all of the surveyed sectors, the services, industry and wholesale and retail trade sectors are expecting better business performance in the first quarter of this year. The business confidence for the services sector rebounded to a positive trajectory with 11% in the reference quarter from negative 1.3% recorded in the past quarter. The industry sector, meanwhile, depicts a better business condition with 12.2% compared to 3.6% recorded in the fourth quarter 2021. On the contrary, the construction sector continues to be pessimistic on its business performance, with the confidence indicator at negative 40% first quarter this year. The escalating Russia-Ukraine conflict will pose risks to global growth due to inflation and further disruption of global supply. MIDF research, however, said it will benefit commodities-related counters and will have a minimal direct impact on Malaysia's exports. In a research note, it said market reaction was expected but would stabilize as the conflict has no profound impact on the equities market so long as corporate earnings are unaffected. The firm also maintains its FBM KLCI and 2022 target at 1,700 points for now. It expects the Russia-Ukraine conflict would cause limited macro and corporate earnings fallout to the region and Malaysia in particular. The crisis also has a minimal direct impact on Malaysia's exports, with the size of exports to both Russia and Ukraine only accounting for 0.4% of Malaysia's total exports in 2021. Malaysia's Consumer Price Index, CPI, is expected to expand 2.4% year-on-year. Public Investment Bank said the CPI will be driven by the full-year impact of economic reopenings, favourable oil price and lagged impact of 8 COVID-19 fiscal stimulus packages. The firm said the expansion will also be underpinned by private-public initiatives that will create at least 1 million new jobs this year. The accommodative interest rate environment should also see the overnight policy rate remaining unchanged until June. Inflation, however, could exceed expectations, especially if supply disruptions are prolonged. Inflation may also re-accelerate should production bottlenecks in the manufacturing and mining sectors continue. Headline inflation increased by 2.3% year-on-year last January. Sime Darby Property plans to launch projects worth 2.8 billion ringgit in gross development value (GDV), while setting a sales target of 2.6 billion ringgit this year. According to its group MD, Dato' Azmi American, it will be a strategic product mixed with mainly 84% residential and 16% industrial properties.
The product diversification, moving and offering industrial is going to be key for us. And the fact that our fund management business is going to start contributing in 2022, right? So we're quite happy. So this is really a transformative year for the organization. We are as a whole optimistic about 2022.
The property developer recorded 3 billion ringgit in sales last year, driven by its highest number of new launches, almost 3,600 units of property worth 3.7 billion ringgit in GDV, with an average take-up rate of 87%. The strong sales achievements underpinned the group's financial results this year, with a 7.6% revenue increase to 2.2 billion ringgit. While its net profit soared 127.3% at 137 million ringgit against last year. Next Generation Oil, together with Boustead Holdings, plans to develop over 15,000 hectares of algae plantations, a new ecosystem with renewable algae biofuel technology. According to its executive chairman, Dato' Indra Mohamed Mois, the plantation will be able to cultivate 68 million tons of algae biomass and produce about 34 million tons of crude algae oil and dry algae cake.
Under the vendor development program, Boustead can help us, guide us, manage and structure this whole thing And for 38,000 acres, that's 38 billion US dollars. That's 7,652 billion ringgit over 10 years. That's a lot of capex and investments coming in.
Boustead Group, he said, will lead the algae farm tank vendor development program and support the manufacturing of 15 million tanks upwards, manufacturing of oil extraction facilities, civil contracts and engineering works. The program aims to develop competitive, sustainable and high-performing vendors via a structured building program, with the objective of supporting government's net zero carbon aspirations, developing resilient and competitive SMEs and vendors, as well as building the nation's local capabilities. That's all the time we have for Bizworld. I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for watching and keep tuning in to TV3.